guys, and welcome back to another speed build. Now, first and foremost, let me just get this off my chest. I did actually mess this build up. Now, for some reason, I forgot to do the side windows until I had decorated every single room. So the sides of this build look extremely weird because I'm an idiot and forgot to do the windows beforehand. So can we all please just ignore that for my sake? I was not about to redo every single room. So by the end, if you think the windows on the side of the building look strange, I 100% agree. That's fully my bad. Anyway, so this is in NordHaven, which is the world that comes with the businesses and hobbies pack. Now, I have tried to build in this world before, but not in this area. There's like an industrial area, and then the other area I would say is more like artsy, like the buildings and stuff like that. So I've tried to build in like the artsy area before, and I really, really struggled. I never posted that. That was not a good build at all. But I wanted to do some kind of like brick apartment sort of building, and I wanted every room to have sort of a different storyline. So that's what we're going for today. Now, please ignore this beginning thing. My original idea was to have the stairs on the outside of the building, but I don't know why I was struggling so hard with this bit. I did not end up doing that. I end up actually adding an addition to the building eventually once I decide that every other option I tried looks stupid. So, you gotta bear with me with that one. But I've actually never really played in NordHaven before. I haven't really played around with the businesses and hobbies pack that much. I really like the idea of businesses and hobbies. I do. I think it's such a fun idea for a pack, but I don't know. I feel like I can't really get into it, but I think that's also because I'm not good at building really. So I feel like having to build a business is gonna take me a while. Okay, we're still learning. This series is about learning how to build in The Sims. Now, again, I just went for like a big brick building, which actually doesn't look like an eyesore in this area as much. I think I have tried to do a build like this before, but as I said, it was in the art district. I don't know if that's what it's called, I can't remember, but it looked really out of place there. So I feel like it looks a little bit more like it belongs in this section. That being said, I don't really know. I'm really hard on myself with my builds. Like I genuinely can't tell if they're good or if they're terrible. Especially because I think this one took me like 3 hours. So after hour 2, everything just starts looking bad. But I like the idea of it, and I think with some tweaks it could be really good. I've lost interest, to be honest. So we're just gonna act like it's finished and move on with our day. I just really wish I noticed the problem with the windows sooner, because I feel like that's just the main issue I have with the build is the windows. If you can tell by the thumbnail photo, I don't show the sides of the building. At least I don't think I will. And that's the reason why, because I do not like how the side of the building looks. I did have kind of a photo I was following, but I kind of ended up just doing my own thing anyways. Originally, I did want to do this sort of like green rooftop thing. I thought it looked kind of cool, but I think that made it stand out a little bit too much, especially in contrast with the brick. I just don't think. Like the brick and the concrete, I thought it would be nice to have the pop of green on the roof, but I quickly decided against it. Now, halfway through this, actually, you'll notice that I have a lot more items, and that's because I bought 2 new packs. I bought Dream Home Decorator because it's on sale at the moment because they're doing some summer sale, I think, even though it's winter where I live. And then I also bought the new, what's it called? The Enchanted pack or something like that, because I want to do a rags to riches in that new world with that new pack, because I feel like that'll be so much fun. So that's next on my list of filming. I just feel like I'll have so much more fun building in a world like that as well. So I'm actually really looking forward to playing around with it a bit more. I think that's also why I decided not to try and fix this build. Again, it's not terrible, like it's fine. It's just, I think because I spent so long on it, I was a little disappointed in myself for not doing the windows or not thinking about the windows first, but that's just my fault. So, not that anyone would want to download this build anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, there's just so much trial and error. a lot of trial and error. And later on, you'll see when we're doing the roof, my lovely boyfriend decided to come in and try and come up with some fun ideas of what we can do. So when we get to that part and you think everything I'm doing is really strange, it is. But yeah, I'm just giving you a pre-warning now because you're going to be so confused. Anyway, so yeah, these are the windows I went with. They do come with the businesses and hobbies pack. I just feel like they do go really well with the building. That being said, I'm triggered even thinking about windows now because of my window problems to the side of the building. But so we're just not going to think about it that deeply. But I really, really like the door that I've used for the balcony on each floor. I really, really like that. Now, this building is technically 3 apartments, but on the bottom floor, there is like a tiny sort of room for the landlord. Now, it's kind of ugly and it has bare essentials. That's what I was going for because I thought it was kind of fun to have that storyline of like all these personalized apartments and then the landlord is just in this sort of lifeless little room down the bottom. Now, obviously, in real life, apartments would pretty much be carbon copies of each other. This one is not that. So, also, as you'll see when I do the exterior of the building, I do add some stuff for kids, but none of the apartments have kids in them. One of them does, but it's like an infant, like a toddler, so they're very young. But I don't know, I feel like you can make this world kind of flourish with this apartment building. Like, it's basically a lot of different characters in one building. I don't really have much lore for the landlord because I just don't really know. I know it's a male, I feel like, but that's all I know. I don't really know what his story would be as such. But yeah, so his room is pretty much got nothing in it, but that's kind of what I was going for, especially because it's such like an awkward shaped room. You'll see when we get there. It's just so strange. So I feel like it's kind of perfect. But let me just go through the characters that we're planning to have in each floor. Hopefully I will make this, I could make the Sims maybe. I'm not great with cast though. That's really not my thing. But so ground floor is where the landlord lives. On floor number 1, I just think it's this husband and wife. They have a really young child and the wife is like a writer who's in love with books and she loves the color green. Very random things to love, but she is just obsessed with books. She has books all over her apartment. You know, she's studying. Then on floor 2, we have a young female that lives alone and she is obsessed with gaming and the color pink. So her whole apartment is gonna be like pink and like her main living area is just her gaming setup. And she does have an easel in there, which has a bit of lore. Because on the 3rd floor is a young adult male. He's very, very lost in life. He's a bartender, but he doesn't know what he wants to do with his life. His very, very bleak, boring living space. But he likes to paint. And the girl on floor 2 has an easel in her room because she's trying to learn how to paint to impress the guy on level 3. So that is the sort of lore we've got going on here. So I feel like that'll be even fun gameplay, perhaps. Now here, I was trying to figure out how to get debug items, but I could not figure it out. So if any of you know how to do that, please let me know because I was getting a little confused. Now, as for the trees here, obviously they look a little bit funny, so I did just put plant boxes so they look a little bit less funny. But I guess at the same time, that doesn't really logistically make any sense. But I needed a bit of green, okay? I have to have a bit of green. I feel like this lot, despite obviously like the brick is easy to work with in a place like this, I need that greenery in a build, and that's difficult to get in a place like this. So, you know, we're learning, and that's what matters. So basically at this point, I had no idea what layout I was going for, but I have found a lot easier to build when I have specific people in mind that will live there. I've never actually really looked at the game like that yet. Like before, I never really thought about it that deeply, but I feel like since I have been thinking about it a little more deeply, it's so much easier to get into and get involved in the characters in the game. That being said, I love building, but I'm missing the gameplay aspect of it all. So I'm excited to actually play rags to riches a little bit later in the new world, especially because we have a new world, because I've like clicked in there to have a quick look at the map, but I haven't played anything in there. I don't know the characters that are going to be like the new characters we're going to be introduced to. I don't even know any of the builds or anything like that, so I'm really, really excited. I do know, at least I think I do know, I was watching, I can't remember who did it, but someone built, I always have videos on in the background when I play Sims, which is probably what you guys are doing with this video right now, but I always do that. And I was in the background and some lady made like $1 million fairy mansion, because apparently there's quite a lot of very expensive items in the new pack, which makes me excited because obviously you want to work harder. I don't even know if there's a new like job or anything that comes with the new pack. I know obviously you can be a fairy. This is what's going to be weird about the rags to riches, is I know absolutely nothing about this pack, because a lot of the packs I have played with in the past, I've not played Sims all my life. I did when I was younger, but not like, I was really young and I didn't understand the expansion packs and stuff like that. So a lot of the really older expansion packs I only got within like the last 2 years, but obviously I've been watching videos for years, so I know all about the ins and outs of it. Whereas in the new one, I don't really know. I know some people are disappointed, but I feel like everyone's disappointed with every single pack ever. So that's not exactly anything new as such. Now, these doors that I used originally with the sort of tinted glass on the top, I really, really liked them. I thought they had a lot of character, but I did end up having to change them to some blander ones just because there was not enough space. Now, this is the Landlord's, oh, sorry, that was a really sharp cut. I did have to film this across multiple days. So this, okay, we've just jumped the gun a little bit. This is when I was with my boyfriend and I played a little bit off camera to try and mess around with the roof a little bit. So this whole part is kind of really back and forth and really useless to watch, but I feel like it's fun to keep in so you guys can see the backs and forths in my brain of what I was trying to achieve. Now I do end up, I don't know if I have already put it on there, but I put a massive ladder. So the only way you can get up here is by climbing a ladder, which my boyfriend thought was silly. And to be honest, it kind of is, but it's kind of funny and I'm kind of into it. So I've kept it as it is, but I did just want a little bit of a communal space. Now I can kind of see not even just the people living in apartments being up here. I could see everyone kind of coming in that live around the area, like a fun little hangout spot, really. I do end up putting a children's item up here. I don't know if a child can get up here, but it just felt like it needed a little something. And then I thought maybe putting the Love-Struck bear rug up here would be funny, but then I realized that that's really random, so I ended up not doing that. My boyfriend was trying to convince me that it was a good idea and that it was fun, and I'm like, I don't know, kind of random just to have a rug on the roof, I feel like. Then we thought a swing set could be fun, but there actually wasn't as much space up here as it looks like, really. Because obviously the Sims need to be able to walk around everything, and we know what Sims are like. They're very, very picky about the space they can walk through. But yeah, so obviously there's a lot of trial and error. I actually end up deleting all this at one point, trying a whole different thing, hating it, and then coming back to this. So again, a lot of hit or miss. I did also not really notice till the end, but it is a lot of just brick. So I do end up changing one section of it just to a black, which I don't really know if I like, but I just needed that sort of color breakup really, because it was just way too much. Now logistically I understand this is strange, but I did put a tree on the roof. Now obviously in real life this wouldn't make sense, but it's The Sims, so I feel like it's fine really, isn't it? Please, I hope it's fine. But yeah, I put this hopscotch thing there, which as I say, I don't even know if a child can climb up here, but it's there anyway. So, and then I thought a fire pit would be so much fun, although I do end up using it, but I did downsize it, and I don't know how that works in gameplay, like if it's still usable downsized. But again, I'm not going to play on this lot most likely, so it doesn't really matter. But I probably would like to make the Sims for each apartment building. I feel like that would actually be quite a lot of fun. So maybe I will do that one day, and then I can come back and renovate the building, like keep the building the same, but just renovate all the rooms, and then I can actually move around the windows. So I probably will come back and change this up one day when I have the sanity to redo everything again. But I feel like I'll really be able to up my building abilities when I can access debug easier. I know there's a tool mod, I think, where it kind of just adds it to the build and buy menu and you don't have to open cheats every single time. And I know it has a lot more customization for things, so I think I should look into getting that. I feel like that would help enhance my building abilities as well. Because I feel like there definitely is some limitations when you don't use cheats, which is expected for anything, like any game really, because obviously cheats and mods add so much to the game. I did used to play with mods a lot when I first got the game. I was obsessed with them, but I don't know how people keep up with every single update, like re-updating all the packs and trying to figure out what mod is messing up your game. Like, I can't do that. That's why I kind of just want to get like the tool mod and that's it, just because I know I only have to update one thing every single update. Because I watched this one girl, or like I haven't watched her recently, but I used to watch her a lot, Ashley Plays, and her like Let's Play series, I don't know how, it must take her so long because she just has so much attention to detail with everything she does. And I don't know how she does it, because she must have so many mods, and I don't know how every single update she doesn't just cry with having to fix everything that has gone wrong between the updates. But I also do play on Mac, and I know Mac doesn't have the same level of mods, I don't think, or it's like, I don't know, there's something that you can do on Windows and stuff that you can't do on Mac. My original plan was to get a different like gaming sort of setup computer, but it made me nervous because I would want to customize one, which means I would have to build one, which is just not gonna happen. I don't trust myself to do that, so that was kind of a no from the beginning. And I just feel like I know Mac so well, like Apple products I've been using all my life, so I feel like I'm really comfortable using them, and it makes me nervous to start from scratch all over again. So this is when I decide that the green is just too much on the roof, and I absolutely think that was a game changer. I don't know what that, I kept just looking at it and being like, there's something about this I don't like and I can't tell what it is, and it was indeed the grass. It was just too much. So I actually quite like the wood on the roof. Now we did actually have an idea as well of making this like getting a big projector screen, and it can be like have fun movie nights and stuff like that on the roof, which would have been cool, but I don't know if logistically that would work in this sim, so we gave up on that idea pretty quickly. But yeah, we just made it just a cute little hangout spot. I didn't want anything too crazy, especially because you can obviously see it from the world, like it's not closed off or anything, so I didn't want it to look too strange just sitting on the roof like that. We just go for a little bird pond as well. We have a little fireplace with some seats around it, and then we do just have another seating area with a little umbrella so that people can make stuff on the barbecue up here and eat up here. Now, I did actually end up finding little signs that because I thought maybe a spill, like a sign on the side of the building would be good, but everyone I tried to do, it just looked a little strange, so I ended up not doing that. But I guess that also makes sense because in my head, these apartments are owned by each person. They're not like rented, because they are so personified. Yeah, personified. I don't know if that's the word I'm looking for, but because they're so personalized, there we go. Because they're so personalized, obviously that you can't change the house like that when you're renting. Again, it's The Sims, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, I mean, I feel like you have to make it a rental anyway to have all the different people in each apartment. I haven't like done any of that. I literally just built it and left it. So hopefully I'll come back and make all the characters and stuff, and then I can, make it all different apartments. This is me trying to decide if I hated or loved the build. I was very 50-50. But yeah, also I forgot to say, there's no really pets in this building apart from on the third floor apartment. The girl does have a cat, which of course has pink themed everything. Now, this is when I realized that the glass wall update had been added, and I thought that maybe having glass walls around it would look cool. forgetting that this is the 5th floor, so I couldn't actually put full length walls. So that's when I decided, like, maybe I'll just try and do like a tall half wall, make it clear, thinking that would look cool. Spoiler, it looks absolutely horrendous. Like, actually so bad. I was so shocked when I saw it because I actually thought it would look quite good, but it looks horrific. So please do not worry, I did change it back. But it looks horrible. But it does make me excited because I'm thinking like San Myshuno penthouse, those glass walls are going to be a game changer, because I feel like have tried to mimic that in the past with like the glass walls by just using big windows, but it doesn't hit the same. No, it does not hit the same. So this was a huge update. I'm actually really, really keen about this, and I feel like it just adds a lot of opportunities, especially for like more modern style builds. Anyway, that's when I moved everything back to the brick. I thought maybe fencing would look good. Like, I felt like the only thing with this build is obviously it's all brick because that's just the style of building it is, but it just felt too repetitive, which sounds kind of silly, but it just, I don't know, I think I've just been staring at it for too long, to be so honest. But yeah, I ended up just going back with what I had because I think it's cute, and it's nothing, like, I just wanted something cooler. Like, I was like, it's just nothing too exciting. But to be honest, I don't think it really needs to be anything that exciting, because it's not like a hotel or something where you get all these really cool amenities. It's like people live here. So it just needs to be stuff that they can enjoy doing like on the weekends and stuff like that. So I feel like I portrayed that okay enough. So then we move on to doing the little landlord's area. Now, as I said, this is bleak and boring, but it's kind of supposed to be. He has this like a small bed, a tiny little kitchen set up, that little diagonal wall that everyone's gonna hate, I thought was perfect. But yeah, so I pretty much just put enough in here for him to live, like to survive in here. But the idea is that he doesn't spend a lot of time here, really. He's chasing after his own dreams, while also looking after this rental. So I see it as he runs another business in town, and this is just like a little side hustle for him to make a bit of extra money on the side, but he actually owns some sort of business in the town. Again, I don't know what type of business, because I can't really tell what type of guy he is based off what I've done in his building, because obviously it's very, very bleak, really. So if you guys have any ideas of what his aspiration or what his business should be, please let me know. I'm very, very intrigued to hear what you guys might think. But yeah, the only thing is, like, there is some expensive items in here, but I thought that was kind of a good thing to go for as well. It's just like telling, like, he clearly has money, he just doesn't care to use it for himself. But he's also a landlord, so I don't know. I'm just kidding. But yeah, then I added in a little carpet. Did I? Yeah, I can't remember if I ended up actually using one or not. Every time I put a carpet in there, it's just such an oddly shaped room that I didn't really know what to do with it. Anyways, now we are moving into the main foyer area, where I decided to put down like a little sort of cafe bit. Now again, this is kind of random because obviously these apartments are like lived in apartments. They're not like having new people coming in and out all the time. These are like people's owned apartments, which also kind of doesn't make sense for the landlord side of it all. But I guess for the actual sake of the game, you do kind of have to have that landlord that's, you know, actually owns the building. But since I just wanted it to feel more like a lived-in building, I just put a lot of random stuff under the staircase just as kind of extra clutter. And I also don't deck this area out to make it look like a lobby, because that's obviously just not what this type of building is. Like, as I said, it's not a bunch of people circulating in and out all the time. It's the same people just living here. So that's kind of the vibe I was trying to go for. But I still thought the cafe idea was cute, because then you can come down and get your coffee in the morning. It would also attract people to come, at least I think it would attract people to come around to the area more and just make it a little more lively. To be honest, I just thought it looked cute and I wanted to use it. Like, I don't know why I'm trying to make it sound so deep as to why I decided to use this. I just did. And then I also put these boards up to try and make it look like a more communal area, I guess, because NordHaven's very communal. Like, I know they have those events for specific hobbies and stuff like that you can go to and things, and I feel like it's just very a very lively area. So that's kind of the vibe I wanted to obtain in this lobby area, while still making it feel like it's not some luxurious apartments, because it's not. If that makes any sense at all. Anyways, the rain today is so bad. It's such a good day to play The Sims, and it's supposed to be raining all day. So I'm actually so excited because I do have some stuff to do in the afternoon, but other than that, I can just chill out and enjoy the rain and read my book and play The Sims. And that just sounds so exciting. Anyways, now I did add some plants as well. I just felt like it was missing a pop of color, and then we moved on to the first apartment. So as I said, this first apartment is for just a husband and wife with a really young child, and she is just obsessed with the books and reading. I don't know if she is like a librarian, if she's a publisher, if she's a writer. Like, I don't really know her to that extent. I feel like I'll be able to figure that out once I actually start making her character a little more in depth, because then obviously everything will start clicking together. Now, this is when I realized that the doors I placed were just straight up not gonna work, so I did have to move I did have to move everything around a little bit. And obviously, as I said, I got the Dream Home Decorator pack, and I got and I still remember what it's called, the Enchanted pack or something, fairies, you know, you guys know what I'm trying to say. So I did end up using the Dream Home Decorator door. Let me just say, Dream Home Decorator brings so many new additions for building in The Sims. Like, I was actually quite surprised with how many different things it came with that I could use. And like, it's very versatile. I feel like you're able to use it in a lot of different places, especially like the storage shelves and stuff like that. I feel like it's just such a good little thing to have. So the floor plan for this one turned out a little strange, I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't really sure what I was going for here, but we made it work. Okay, all the floor plans on every single apartment are different, because obviously they all have different needs and stuff like that. Again, in real life, all the apartments would probably be spitting image, like the exact same, but this isn't real life. So but yeah, so this is what we were going for. Now, I just wanted it to be really vibrant. Like, I feel like I really struggled to make vibrant, fun apartments or houses, because I just feel like they're too over dramatic and they're a bit of an eyesore. But who cares? You know what? We're gonna go crazy. And by eyesore, I just mean like it doesn't look aesthetically pleasing in the game, not in real life. Okay, my life is pure chaos in real life, but I feel like in The Sims sometimes, because like a lot of the color swatches don't match, like a green would be a lot of different tints of green, and it's hard to find another green that's the same, if that makes sense. So that's kind of what I mean with, it's a little hard to go for really fun colors sometimes if you want everything to match well, but that's not really what I was going for in this build, so it didn't really matter. I chose a really fun tile for the bathroom. I'm actually obsessed with that tile. I don't think I've ever used it before, so it's actually quite fun that I finally got a chance to use it. But again, with the Dream Home Decorator, like these little mirrors and stuff for the little storage compartments, they're just so cute. I don't know what it is about them, but I'm absolutely obsessed. Now, as you can tell by this main floor plan, this was going to be difficult to work with, because obviously there's not a lot of space, right? Like, there's a bathroom. This is the one where they have a toddler, so one of the rooms need to be for the toddler. I still have to fit in a double bed that the mum and dad can both get into, have to fit in a kitchen. But the Dream Home Decorator came with this little space saver, like bake oven thing. Such a game changer as well. It saves so much space. And then I did just do a little mini fridge as well. I just popped it at the end. It doesn't look great. Like, I probably should have just rotated it really to be facing the kitchen. But you know what? It's too late now, so we're going to act like it looks good and we're going to move on with our day. So I feel like in a small apartment like this, the main thing that we need to think about is obviously storage, because obviously in The Sims storage doesn't actually matter, but if you were to live in a small apartment like this, you need to be able to, you know, get all the storage you can possibly think of. So that's what I was kind of going for here, is just finding all the little nooks and crannies that I could to add to it, because obviously it's going to be a pretty stuffy apartment having 3 Sims in such a small vicinity, especially as the child gets older. So I pretty much used every little bit of space we had and put something there. So, but the main show of this interior is the wife's desk and her books. So again, as I said, because of the bright green color that I used, it was a little bit difficult to find things that matched, but we got there in the end. And I feel like it's okay for things to be a little bit mismatched. Like, it doesn't really matter. I do end up getting a green desk chair from the Dream Home Decorator pack. Let me tell you, I'm obsessed with this Dream Home Decorator pack. But yeah, basically my main goal was to just clutter. I just wanted it to feel a lot more, as I said, personalized than my usual builds do. So I went for this, let me tell you, this book nook kit. I love that shelving where you can just snap them together and make it as big as you want. A huge game changer. So I used that. I also put in another small bookshelf, and then I put in that big 9 modular thing right in the corner as well, because that's what I mean by it's just stocked up. Like, it's stacked up with stuff. Obviously, as the kid gets older, you can probably delete that like 9 unit thing and put in something for the kid, or you can, even as the kid gets older, maybe moves out of home, you'll obviously have that extra space where you can make like a really cute study or something like that. But obviously for now we need a space for the kid. So, and then obviously I didn't want to just leave this spot behind the kitchen counters empty, because the fridge was clipping, which I've already said I wish I kind of just flipped the fridge to go the right way. But also, you know, you can't give up that amount of space. We need some sort of storage of some description. So I do end up finding some storage stuff to put behind it as well. So sorry guys, it is now actually the next day. I just find it really hard to talk on voiceovers for this long. Like, I don't know how people do it, so we've had to split it into 2 days. Mostly just because I kind of run out of things to talk about, or I overthink what I'm talking about. So anyways, we are back now. So we're still on the first apartment. Now, as I had done the layout, I kind of forgot that I would need to put in a dining table of some description. Now, I obviously did not keep that one that I put in there, but I did start to panic because I forgot that you would obviously need somewhere to eat your food, especially since this apartment is like a family apartment. So I felt like having an actual dining table was a little more important. Now, I can't quite remember what I did, whether I ended up putting chairs and a table or if I just forgot. I actually genuinely cannot remember, because unless I put it on the balcony, because I know in one of the apartments I put up like a dining table on the balcony, but I don't remember if it was this apartment or not. But yeah, I just put in like this cute little like wooden, it kind of reminds me of the bed I have actually, like with that like wood headboard, and I thought the little green like plaid bedding was really cute, so of course I had to choose that one. But the bedroom is like, both the bedrooms are actually just quite plain, but I mostly just did that because there's not a whole lot of space really. Like, there's not much space, especially for 3 Sims. So I did clutter up the main area a little bit, but I didn't want to clutter up the entire build because I feel like it would just, because I didn't play test this, right? So I just did everything that I assumed would be fine being played in, and I didn't want to push the boundaries. But I don't know what it is, whether it's just like just the Sims, but I don't like how bedside tables look. Now, I always do them just because, I don't know why, to be honest. I just feel like I have to, but I do not like how bedside tables look. In real life, like they're handy. I just mean in the Sims, like, you don't really need them logistically. So from this point onwards, maybe I'll just stop using them. I also don't like beds in the middle of the room, which obviously if you have Sims living together, you need them in the middle of the room, but I'm not a fan. I don't know. I think because it takes up so much space, like especially in a build like this where we don't have a lot of space to work with, it really does take up the entirety of the room. Like, personally, in my bedroom, I have a queen bed, but I just have it against the wall, because if it was in the middle of the room, I would have essentially no other space in the room. So I'm always team have the bed against the wall personally. But I don't know if, I actually don't know if this is a thing or not, but could you possibly have the Sims, like in the Sims, if you have like a double bed against the wall, can 2 Sims still sleep in it? Can they like scoot over and sleep in it? I don't think so. I've never actually tried that, but I just assumed you couldn't and that they would have to access both sides of the bed. Anyway, this is the toddler's room, so I just added in a bunch of clutter. I added in a ton of like little tiny toys just to make it look a little bit more lived in. Again, it's nothing crazy, but also obviously, like, especially in The Sims, the kids just age so quickly. So I feel like sometimes it's just not even worth going all out when they're a toddler, because you're going to be changing it up. Especially because I usually play on short lifespan, so it does not last very long. Okay, so this house just straight up doesn't have a dining table. I completely forgot. That's so funny. I was like, no, I definitely put one. I did not put one in that apartment, so my bad. That being said though, there was no space really anyways. So this floor is for the single young adult woman who is very much into gaming. What's the vibe for this one? See, as you can tell, I do a very different floor plan for everyone. Like, I could do carbon copies. I was thinking of like keeping it the exact same on every floor, but I think that's a little boring. I do like having the different sizes, like, and the different room styles and stuff like that. So basically this apartment is very, very pink. So everything is pink is basically the vibe I was going for. Now originally I did do this fully just pink paint for the main area. I do end up changing it to a wallpaper just because I felt like it was a little bit too much. That being said though, I am warning you now, this whole apartment is just straight up pink. I don't know why I went with the color pink. I just saw one swatch of it and I just felt drawn to using it. So here we are. Then I almost just did white, but it just didn't look right. So then I went for this really cute like floral one. Honestly, I'm obsessed with it. I probably shouldn't have really used it for the entire main area, but I think it's cute. I like it. And I really wanted to, yeah, so you wanted to use this nook as like the little gaming area. So I did a nice big desk, got a cute little pink chair, pink computer set up, and I just wanted to clutter it up. Now I did really struggle cluttering this wall. Just everything I did just looked way too purposeful, and that's not what I was trying to do. I wanted it to look cute but a little bit all over the place was basically the vibe I was going for. I originally did try and do these just shelves because the color matches quite well with the desk, and then I just cluttered it up with a lot of the stuff from the cozy gamer kit because of course that stuff's perfect for an apartment like this, but I do end up changing it completely. It's just, I don't know what it is, but I feel like sometimes the Sims menus, like decorations and stuff, I feel like they need to be more organized. Like oh my goodness, for instance, like paintings and posters I feel like should be in two different categories. It's just small things like that. Like I wish like the clutter section could be more specific, if that makes sense, because I feel like sometimes it's really hard to find what you're actually looking for. Like I was trying to find this board. I always thought it was called a pin board, but when I searched it up, it didn't come up. It is from the Cozy Gamer kit. I can't remember what it's called now. I have to wait until I find it to figure out what it was called, but I really wanted to use it and I just could not find it. Let's see, I'm intrigued now. What is it called? I went too quick, but that thing. I thought it was called a pin board. Now I don't know. But I wanted to use that because I thought that would be a good, like a little bit of a breakup as well, just because obviously the wallpaper is very lively. So I just didn't want to overdo it by putting shelves and stuff straight onto that wallpaper. So I wanted to put kind of something in between the two. And then I just really cluttered up the space. Now I kind of don't love it. I don't really love it that much, but I don't hate it either, and that was kind of the point I was at. Whereas if I don't hate it, it's staying. So we kept it as it is. And also because I think the reason I didn't really like it is because it's quite cluttered, but that's the vibe I was going for. You know what I mean? Like that's the whole point. So I did just keep it as it was. And also, you know, it's just a little bit of it is a crazy looking apartment. That's just kind of the vibe of it. But then I just put this little cozy rug. I did downsize it twice just to make it fit nicer into that corner. Then I wanted to make sort of a little entryway. Obviously the desk isn't in the most ideal spot since it's right when you enter the apartment, but these apartments are tiny, so I just put like a nice mirror, a little plant, and then I just put up some pictures as well. Also put a calendar on the first wall. Now I did put a cat on the calendar because this sim does indeed have a cat, as you will see as we progress further into this apartment. So yeah, I did actually end up downsizing those Book Nook kit paintings, posters. I'm gonna go with paintings. I did end up downsizing them. I just wanted to have like kind of a cute little cluttered wall. So I think that was actually quite cute, you know, make it a little more personalized. But I did kind of struggle a little bit just with the layout of this apartment, just because obviously it's kind of, the main area is kind of split into two, but the way the bathroom is where it like goes in one in compared to the bedroom, it was a little bit hard to work around. But I think I kind of made it work. I don't know, I think I kind of limited myself rather quickly and then just panicked. So I felt, I don't know why, but I think the bathroom is really cute as well. The pink on pink tile is kind of crazy, but I'm kind of obsessed with it. So of course I kept it as it was. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of clutter up the bathroom a little bit more. Guys, you have to tell me if it's worth it. The bathroom clutter kit, I don't know whether to get it or not, but I feel like every time I make a bathroom, I don't have enough stuff to make it something cool. I feel like some extra clutter would be really, really good. But also, I don't know if it's worth it. Like, I don't even know if I would really actually use it. So let me know what you guys think. I did also put some laundry on the floor just to kind of signify more of like how this girl's life operates, okay? Like, she has her life together, you know, she owns her own apartment, she's decorated it really nicely, she has her dream gaming setup, but you know, she isn't perfect. So then we moved on to the bedroom, which I actually really like. I don't really think it fits essentially the style of the rest of the house, but I kind of see this girl as, you know, her life's sort of a mess, but she loves having her own space very clean. Obviously the whole apartment isn't clean, but her bedroom is like her safe haven, so she always tries really hard to keep that clean. I don't know, maybe I'm definitely overthinking this. But the chest of drawers I used was from the Dream Home Decorator pack, because as I said earlier, I actually only bought this pack yesterday. Such a game changer. It comes with such nice furniture. I'm super keen about it. And then originally I was going to try and put like a TV and a gaming setup on there, but it kind of blocks the window and also just wasn't looking the greatest, so I ended up not doing that. I put in a little cat scratching tower. I did also put in a little cat bed just outside the bedroom as well. And then I put in just some plants and stuff just to clutter it up a little bit. I was originally going to try to put the cat bed inside the bedroom, but I know how the Sims can get a bit laggy when, like, I don't think they can walk over a pet bed, so there was not enough space in there. But I did end up fitting this nice, good sized cat tower, because I know there's this smaller one, but it's just nowhere near as exciting for the cats as the larger one. Then I did the litter box is in a bit of an unconventional spot, but I wouldn't be able to fit it in the bathroom because I forgot about it. Just like the windows, I forgot about the cat, what's it called? The litter box before it was too late. So it just has to stay there now. And then I wanted to kind of work on this entryway again a bit more, just because, as I was saying, with the layout of this main area, it was a little hard because there was wasted space basically. So I was trying really hard to fill that space in so that none of the space was wasted, since we have such minimal space. But that is a lot easier said than done. So you know, we tried our best. But then yeah, I do end up moving the cat litter tray just to the corner because I thought that would be a little bit more out of the way, because obviously right next to the cat tower, it stands out quite a lot. But the only reason I chose that litter box is because it cleans itself manually. No. It cleans itself automatically, so you don't have to clean it. So obviously I wanted to go with that one because that's the best option. And then I thought about putting a couch here. I'm pretty sure I'd keep the couch. I can't remember. I genuinely can't remember what I end up doing here. But the painting over the top of the couch is actually a TV disguised as a painting, which I love that so much. I think that's such a good idea, especially because I feel like the TVs in The Sims really stand out. Also, this kept saying that it was a pink swatch, like the marble on the top was pink. I don't know if it was just me, but I do not see any pink in that at all. I still used it because I do actually quite like the style of the benches, but it doesn't look pink at all. But anyways, I think it's almost maybe a good thing that not everything is pink, because, you know, it might be a little bit of overkill. Also, I think that came with the Dream Home Decorator pack, the electric bake oven thing. Let me tell you, that is such a game changer as well. The fact that it can slot under a counter, like I'm assuming you're able to use the counter on top of it that it's under. That's amazing. I was so excited when I found that. Like, this is actually kind of fun because when I downloaded, because I got the enchanted, I still don't know what it's called, guys. It's been another day and I still don't know what it's called, but having those two packs and then just going straight into the same build I was building was actually so much fun, because seeing all the new things without actively looking for them was quite exciting. I do love just getting packs without really looking what's in them, because I just find it so much more fun to find out while I'm playing. Now, this is what I mean with this apartment is I do give her the painting easel because, as I said, she's trying to impress the guy on the floor above her. Now, this apartment, I do actually remember a dining table, and I just put it on the balcony, and then I also just put a nice little chair as well, just because I feel like the lighting, like watching the sunset on this balcony, would be really nice. And then I did just put a little bit of greenery as well, just because I feel like it was missing a little bit of a pop of color. But yeah, that is apartment 2, and now we've moved on to apartment 3. So this is a single young adult male that's a little lost in life, lives by himself, but he loves painting. Now, I'm not kidding when I tell you this apartment is very dark. It's very plain, it's very simple. Now, that being said, I do see this guy being very obsessed with his family. Like, he loves his parents, he loves his siblings, he loves his family dog. So you will see later on that I put in a lot of empty picture frames, because I imagine obviously as you're playing with this character, you'd fill those picture frames up with pictures of him and his family. Like, that's what I mean. Like, he does everything that he does for his family. Like, he loves his family. A lot of people might see this build and assume that maybe he is just going through a dark time, but I don't think so. I mean, I think he's very lost in life, but I don't think that necessarily means he's going through a dark time. So I still think he's like actually quite a bubbly character. He's just, you know, he doesn't know what he wants in life. So he just goes with everything very basic for now until he has a better understanding of what he wants. So it was also so much easier to have like one color in mind and just go with that color. Now, I do end up doing the white cupboard because I feel like it just needed a little bit of, you know, color difference. And I also imagined his mum buying him that carpet that he has in his bedroom just to have a little bit different color than his main color. Now, he does actually get this little bit of extra space down the side of the apartment, but as I said, I see him just loving painting, so all I put out there was an easel. But I'm thinking that's how the girl below him knows that he likes painting, purely just because she's seen him out painting on his easel so many times. So anyway, now I do end up making the bathroom a bit bigger. I don't know why I thought I could make a 2x2 bathroom work. I'm sure you can, but we don't need to be doing that. Like, he doesn't, it's one person living here. He doesn't need a huge main area to live in, really. Especially because I don't see him spending a lot of time in his apartment anyway. But yeah, I put another big picture frame in the bathroom as well. As I said, it's gonna be full of like family photos and stuff like that. Now, I do actually see him maybe having a dog or something like that as well, but I didn't put anything in this apartment for a dog. So maybe that's kind of a story development. So like further, you know, he's lost in life and then he finds this dog that he adopts. Like, that could be a storyline rather than something he comes with. So yeah, I just made a very simple kitchen. I do like having very simple kitchens. I like the idea of having a big kitchen, but in The Sims, you don't really need it. And especially in an apartment like this, it's kind of just a waste of space to have a really big kitchen for no reason. Again, I put a lot of greenery on his patio. I don't really see him coming out on his patio much, so I didn't actually add a whole lot. So this is the point where I wanted to add just a little bit more clutter to around the side of the building. Now, I wanted to add a car park to this building. Obviously, cars aren't actually usable in The Sims, but you can get some toy cars off of Debug, or you can actually get cars off of Debug and size them up, which is what my plan was. But as I said, I struggled to access the debug menu, so I couldn't actually do that. And then this is when I realized that I think there was just way too much same color going on throughout the whole building. So I do actually end up putting the behind building just in black. Now, do I love that? Not really, but it's also not the main part of the building. Like, looking the building straight on, you don't really see it. So I didn't think it was that big of a drama, but it just needed that sort of color break up a little bit. Yeah, I just wanted to make it a bit more of a communal space outside. Obviously the roof is quite communal, but just some extra stuff. I did have this idea of having some sort of garden that all the tenants use and they grow different stuff, but it just looked a little goofy and I didn't have the energy to try and make it look better, so I do end up just deleting all of this. But it's the thought that counts. I like the idea of what I was trying to achieve, but I realistically needed a bit more space and I just needed a little bit more time to be bothered to try and make it work, so we gave up on that pretty quickly. But the idea is cute, so next time I do an apartment building I might try and incorporate something like that. But I tried to make it work for about all of 5 minutes before I gave up, so but yeah, as I said yesterday, I do need to figure out that to download the tool mod or something so that I can just quickly access the debug menu, because I feel like that'll be a big difference, especially for exteriors, because like the trees and stuff, especially in like certain worlds, I feel like it's really hard to make the build look like it belongs there because the trees that are used in that area are only available in the debug menu. So I feel like getting the debug menu would be really, really good, or getting access to it. Because I searched up how to do it and I have done it before, so I don't know why I couldn't get it to work this time around. But then I did just add these. I know that they're technically supposed to have like a door or something, but I just thought I just wanted to add a little bit something to the wall because obviously there's no windows or anything, so it's quite bland. So I just added those sort of like small balcony things just to add a little something. I added a hedge as well. Again, a little random, but I feel like it needed something because it was just a 4-story black wall which with no windows or anything. This is when I realized I messed up and I forgot to put windows on the side of the building. So it was a little too late to try and fix it, but I tried my best. But we're just gonna act like it looks good, so that I don't feel like an idiot. So if we could all just pretend it looks really good, that would be amazing. This point is actually when I also remembered that there's new glass walls. Now, of course, I wanted to try and incorporate glass walls at the end of the build and not at the beginning because I never think through anything ever. This is also when I added railings because I thought that would probably be important for the safety of everyone staying here. So I added those. But yeah, I do actually quite like how the roof turned out. The first time when I did it, like finished it, I thought I didn't like it because it's a little chaotic, but I feel like that's what it would be like, you know what I mean? So I think it's fine. And then yeah, this is me trying to save the build by adding windows. A little bit too late. Look, it doesn't look great. No, it really doesn't. But it's too late now, basically. So I know that for next time is to figure out the window situation before I do the entire build would be good. But yeah, this is pretty much it. I don't know if I end up adding anything else, but this is the exterior we're working with. So from the front, I think it looks really good. From the side, not so good. It definitely is missing something. I just not quite sure what, but like it doesn't look horrendous. Like it kind of does fit with the area as a whole. So sorry, you guys are watching me try and get all the angles. This is me trying to get like a thumbnail photo. I still haven't made my thumbnail yet, so I don't even know what photo I end up using. But yeah, this is when I wanted to try and use the glass walls because I originally was using those big windows, but I feel like the glass walls are quite fun and it adds something to the build, which I feel like it needed. But there was a lot of going back and forth with this as well, but do I end up leaving it like that? Honestly, it's so funny because I did this actually yesterday and I cannot remember what I end up doing. But yeah, I'm still messing around with the windows and stuff a bit here, still trying to make it work as best as I can, but there really wasn't much I could do at this point. I mean, I've already said that, but just because I've gone back to do it again, I just wanted to reiterate the fact that it is too late for me to try and fix it. So I tried my best, but you know, sometimes sometimes things just go wrong and that's okay. So it's fine. But yeah, and then, but do I end up leaving it like that? The side wall? I could have sworn I didn't end up leaving it like that. But anyway, this is the final walkthrough, so I guess I did. We have the first apartment, then we have the second apartment, and then finally the third apartment. And then of course we have the roof as well, which I do really like how it turned out actually. But yeah, that is everything guys, so thank you for watching.